So are you looking for funding for your next property project? Well, if you are, then you're in the right place. We're here at Sopwell House, St Albans. This is where we're going to be filming Series 3 of Property Elevator. And quite frankly, I want to fund your next property deal. So come on telly, pitch it to me, and I'm here for you. I'll provide you with the cash.
You're unbelievable, Ranjan. We're meant to be doing this promo together. You've jumped in and told everyone that you want to fund their deal. What about me? What about Helen Chorley? What about Paul Mahoney? What about Nicholas Wallwork? Don't you care about our fellow people in the show?
Good point. I mean, there are a few other property angels on the show.
But of course, you think you're the most important one of the lot, I suppose.
There are a few other property angels on the show. And guess what? You come along and pitch your deal to us. But if it's any good, what happens is we all pitch to you.
Yeah, we all want to do it.
We all want to do it, yeah? So get on the show, pitch your next project, find a deal. If you can find a decent deal, you can always find the money, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It doesn't matter whether, whatever the market's like, Ranjan, I've always said, I've always got money to spend. I'm always available. You know, agents say, oh, are you buying at the moment? I'm always been buying. I've been buying for the last 40 years. And even if I'm short of cash in the old days, I was still buying, because if the deal's good enough, someone will fund it. And the proof of that is the show.
Absolutely. And of course, I mean, I say that I've been investing in property for 30 years. You've, of course, been investing for a lot longer than me.
Funny enough, I look a lot younger than you, which I don't understand.
But
I wish.
In your entire property investing career, how do you compare right now in terms of finding deals compared to at other times in your career?
And there's lots and lots of people who want to invest in property and be property developers. A lot of people want to be like us. It's unbelievable, really, isn't it? It's all about finding deals, yeah. Ranjan. You know that. If you find the right deal at the right money, there's lots of options. There'll be 5 options if you find the right deal. I'm going to be the best option you can go with, of course, but there's 4 others. Helen Chorley, Nicholas Wallwork, Paul Mahoney, and Ranjan.
Listen, I'll give you you've tried the rest, I tried the best, I'll give you the best offer. Click on the link below and get your deal funded on the telly. You'll be on the telly, you'll raise your profile, you'll get funding for your next property deal.
Yep. Get on, do the application form, be brave, no guts, no glory.
Yogesh, welcome to Property Elevator. It's great to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. It's really, really exciting today. Thank you.
Good. So tell us a little bit about your pitch and what you're after from the Angels today.
Okay, so I've got an office in Crystal Palace, South London, and I'm going to convert it into 3 flats, ideally, and the profit should be in the order of £200,000, and I'm asking them for £300,000. And after 12 months, they'll get their money back and we'll share the $200,000 between us.
Right, so a nice 50-50 split of the profit.
I might be a bit more generous, actually.
Oh.
I'm quite keen on getting their experience and getting them on board, so I might do 60-40.
Okay.
I'd be happy with that.
Okay, so we've now got Yogesh coming in to see us, who's quite an experienced developer. He's got a number of properties in London already. This is a ground floor and basement office at the moment that he wants to convert into 3 flats. Shall we get him in and see what he's got to say? Good afternoon, Yogesh. Thank you very much for coming in to see us. We're slightly humbled by you because, one, you're a doctor, so if anything happens to any of us, we know we're in good hands.
You are.
And I'd like to think you're in good hands with us as well.
I hope so.
And also you're an experienced developer and investor yourself. So,
correct. You
know, once again, to have someone of your quality come to see us and pitch is we're very, very grateful. Yogesh, do you want to just tell us very briefly about yourself, because I've said a bit anyway, and then the deal, and then we can take it from there.
My name's Yogesh Patel, as you said. I'm a GP, I'm a doctor in Croydon, and I've been investing in property deals since 2002. I brought to you a deal. It's an office. They're hard to come by nowadays in London, but it's an office in a conservation area, which I'm going to convert into 3 flats. It's got a long lease, 125 years, but the freeholder is available to buy at an additional cost if you choose to, but the freeholder is happy and consented for all the works I'm going to describe. Now, it's an 88 metre square office. It was a private investigator office. They just closed down the business after 20 years. I know the current owner really, really well, and I've got a really good relationship with them. They're happy to let the property go for 450,000, which is a ground and a basement at the moment. Using this relationship, they will take 100,000 now, and they'll take the 350,000 when the flats are sold, so less money in the deal. My planning consultant visited already. I got him to visit on Monday, actually. He thinks this is a Class O, general permitted development rights, no problem. The 5 criteria, he said, there's no problems. I can go into the five criteria if you want me to later. Natural light with a light well. Builder said that's no problem to build. Each flat will sell for £300,000. I'm sure that's true. I've got sold prices of around 325. The build cost is 200,000. I haven't had time to do specifications
It's understandable.
builder drawings, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. I did get 3 builds to go in. They gave me an idea, and that's about £2,200 per square metre, which I think is about right.
Yep.
You buy for 450. There's 50,000 ancillary costs, which is detailed in the pack, which I'm actually happy to contribute towards myself. So the total costing is £700,000. Total sales, 3 times 300, £900,000. So the profit to share between us is £200,000. 12-month project after the planning, build and selling them on. So I'm looking for the £100,000 deposit that the vendor wants and the £200,000 for the build. I'm happy to split that 60% you guys, 40% to myself. I will also be open to offers. I will also be paying 10% on any interest on any cash that's brought in as well, because I think that's fair. I'm happy if you have as much involvement or little involvement as you want. Obviously, I like your experience and expertise on this, but I'm happy to manage it all by myself. I've got a team ready to go, planning going next week if you want. I think in summary, love to work with you guys. I know you have fun with me, we'll make money together. You'll get 300 grand back in 12 months. You'll get an extra 120 grand check on top. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I don't mind starting. I'm interested in the basement in particular. That's obviously a key part of the development. How many units, how are the 3 units spread out? Are they...
So the basement will be 1 flat, and there'll be 1 flat at the front and 1 flat at the back on the ground. That's how it works.
On the ground, yeah, okay. And are you proposing light wells down the side passage and at the rear of the property on the sort of L shape of that?
Middle of the alleyway at the back.
The alleyway, yeah.
Yeah, in there, and that'll be the light well to the basement.
Okay, just
And
one
then
light well.
1 light well, that's
Okay.
it. And there'll be a common entrance in that area too.
Is it a smaller unit in the basement then? 1 bed? Is it a studio or is it a full 1 bed?
They're probably going to be 30 metres square, so they're probably going to be studios realistically.
So all 3 studios, yeah, okay. And on that point, actually, you picked up on my next question straight away. You've said it's 88 square metres of office. Is that net or gross? And the reason I'm asking is if you've got 3 at 90, that obviously adds up to 90. 3 at 30 adds up to 90 square metres, not 88.
Yeah, there'll be a rear extension, which my planning consultant says there's no problem, probably 2 or 3 metres deep at the back, and that gives you space.
Because that's critical for selling these on for finance. Obviously, a lot of mortgage companies won't allow lending under 30 square metres.
Hence the 30 square
Yeah,
metres.
okay.
That's a
Good,
very
you
good
know your
point,
stuff there.
Nicholas, yeah.
Very good.
It's a great pack, by the way. You know, it's got numbers, it's got detail, it's got photos, it's got humour, it's got a bit about you. I really, really like that. So well done.
Are you referring to John's book in the humour part?
That's rude. That's just rude.
I guess I'm always looking at exits. So if you're looking to sell studio, what's the kind of the demand for studios in that area?
In that triangle, people want to live there.
Right.
And it will fly. Right. I'm sure. I work very near that area for 10 years.
Yeah.
I own property in that area. I know the prices.
And you say you've been conservative with the 300 grand
Yes.
price. And you think that's a reasonable price for a basement as well?
It's a flat in the triangle, and yes, the answer is yes.
What do you expect? How realistic do you think a year is for this entire project?
I don't see a problem. Prior approval is 42 days, I believe, and as I said, that can go
56.
in. Sorry, apologies.
56 for prior approval.
56.
I thought it was less than that. No?
56.
Is it?
Unless they've just changed it.
No.
I haven't double checked.
Yeah, so 56 days for that, and I can submit. It can be submitted next week. So that's a couple of months. During that period, I'll get the building drawings, the structural calculations, specifications with the project manager. So the build will start after 56 days. Build time, they told me, is 4 months. Let's say 6 months. And then, so what have you got? Is that month 8 now? So 4 months to market and sell, completely legally.
So that's actual return of funds within 12 months?
Yes.
And have you factored in anything about, because obviously we're going into an interesting economic time, have you factored anything in, looked at any kind of sensitivity analysis on if the market goes down and what that does to the numbers?
So I predict a 10% dip. I think that's true. I'm hoping this will be 6 months. I think the dip will come after 6 months. That's what I believe. So I think we will miss that. But if it's a 10% dip, then your profit will go down, and then you've got options of whether you want to take the lower profit or whether you want to wait, refinance, pull the money out and take it later, and that we can discuss that if the market does crash. Yeah.
If we have the rental 3 out, what's the rental?
The studio, 1,200.
1,200 a month each.
Yeah, each. Yes.
A lot of the questions I would have asked have just been answered by reading it, so it's hard to come up with any further over and above what everyone else has already asked. I like it. It's very interestingly, it's pretty similar to something that I've been looking for with my business partners, and it seems to stack up. Obviously subject to the planning, but that doesn't look like it would be a problem. Yeah, like I don't disagree with the rental figure you mentioned. I don't disagree with the values. I live about a mile around the corner from here, so I know the area relatively well.
Great, that's not helped us, has it?
Yeah. Do you want to buy them?
And I like how many different options you've covered. There's I don't think there's much to add to what you've given, which is a compliment to you.
I love it. It's up my street. Not geographically, but it's up my street in terms of the type of project. I just want to ask a couple of questions about the basement. So there's an existing basement there.
Yes.
And do you know what the ceiling height is there? And what's it used for? Is it habitable at the moment? Or?
I've been in it. The pictures are there. It's very dry and clean. The ceiling will need to be raised, and that's in the build.
So it'll need to be dug?
No. There's lots of height on the ground floor.
Oh, you're doing it that way. That's clever.
So we'll raise it. So only the front part of the building, the office part, has a split level. So that bit will be raised. The rest, the back part has enough head height. It's just the front part that doesn't.
The basement is under the entire footprint of the ground floor, is it?
The basement is not dug out the whole length. The width, yes.
But it's enough for that one flat.
It's definitely 30 metres square.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's a sketch with the measurements, then it's definitely been measured.
Have you priced in to tank the basements?
No, I'll be honest. The builder's seen it. And they didn't comment on it, and I didn't think of it until they left. And
the tanking is probably, I'm guessing, 10, 12 grand, something like that,
yeah.
I would have thought. For the warranties, 10-year warranties, you'll need that. So I think we can add 10 grand onto your costs. On the other issue is the builder you're using. Sounds like you know the builder.
Yes.
Has he done lots of other jobs for
Yes.
you? Of this.
Yes.
He's got enough experience to do it.
Definitely.
Does he give you a fixed price? He does.
He does.
Have they got a bit of money behind them?
Yeah.
In other words, if they get the price wrong, can they get it finished?
Yeah, they're on checker trade. And they've got accounts and so on. Yes.
And they've done basements before.
This particular one is seeing the property. I haven't asked him that direct question or seen any basements, but I will
there's a lot.
do so.
Yeah. I would always.
Yeah.
You always get 2 or 3 prices, I'm sure, anyway. Yeah. But I'm just conscious that with the basement, there is, it's a bit more specialist and so on.
John, the thing with this basement is it's already there. It's got light. You can see from the picture.
Ranjan, I don't care how much light it's got, but I'm telling you now, I've done lots of basements, and they are a challenge. And I don't want you to slip up, and as my partner, I don't want Ida to slip up either.
I think you said later in the document that the vendor's very flexible with a subject to planning offer.
Yes.
Would that extend to subject to planning for the windows for the basement?
Yes.
And the extension. Obviously.
And the extension.
Yes.
That tells me you're paying too much for it.
Yeah, it's very generous in London.
That's what I know you've got a personal relationship with them, haven't you? So that may be it. Okay. I'm sounding a bit miserable, aren't I? And I don't mean to. Normally I'm a very positive person. Interesting. That's good news for you, because they're all on the duck and dive as to who wants to go first.
I'll go first because I want to ask you a question before I go first.
Yep.
You're asking for £100,000 for the deposit.
Yes.
Why, if they're prepared to do an exchange with a delayed completion after you've got planning, why do you need such a big deposit?
They want to pay off their deposit. They've got finance on it.
So they've got what?
Private finance.
They have finance on it.
Right.
And they want to get their deposit they've put into the property back. So so they can use the money for their own.
And what if you don't get planning? Where's that money gone then? That money they can't use without your permission.
We wouldn't pay the deposit until plannings had been granted.
Well, you would exchange on a nominal deposit. You'd want to keep
Yeah.
that deposit as low as possible.
Yes.
10% is obviously industry norm. I always try and negotiate 5% if possible.
Okay.
So in this deal, you're talking 25 grand, 22.5 grand.
Yeah.
And that's tying up as little of your money as possible whilst you get that planning, get your builders lined up, get everything lined up. Then potentially you could, do any other sorts of creative finance to get it bought and refinanced very, very quickly.
Mhm.
So I think that would be
I
the
think
basis
it's better to
of
purchase it than it is do the 100 grand and
lease
then the rest-
option.
and then the rest upon completion of the flats. 'Cause
Yeah.
actually, it's all about leverage, really. Property developing is all about leverage. It's all about borrowing money against an asset in order to make more money.
On the basis that if you can do a delayed completion with a 5% deposit, we'd need to negotiate that. I think that's a no-brainer of a deal if you could get that. It's a question mark over whether you could get that. So I think that needs to be explored. Are you opening to finding finance for the rest
of
if
course.
we can do
The
it?
finance I can do in my name or whatever company name, no problem. Yeah.
Sure. No,
Yeah.
okay. Brilliant. Well, I think there's a lot less money in than if you can get that deal. So I'll offer you all the money that's needed with creative financing at the 10% interest rate, and I'd ask for 65% of the deal profit.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So very close to what you're offering.
Yes, thank you very much.
Everyone's playing their cards very close to their chest, aren't they,
Right,
Yogesh?
all
I'm
right.
I think you've done well here.
I'm
I
enjoying
think-
this. So
I think
I'll
you've got us
sit back.
eating out of the palm of your hand.
I like this.
Sure. Okay. So, I'm looking at it from kind of a return on GDV, that kind of perspective. So for me, this deal is 22% return on GDV, 28.5% return on costs with the numbers that we've got so far. My concern, as we've touched on already, is what economic environment we're going into. And that's where kind of the timing, when I was asking about that, and appreciate Nicholas' input, that's where the timing on that is critical. If it can be done in 6 months, it's a very different proposition to if it can be done in a year because of what we're expecting. 10% drop in the market, if it does take a year, I'm down at a return on GDV of 14%. And that's where I'm kind of and ahhing. So on that basis, with what I'm looking at, I couldn't offer you something better than Nicholas has given you there. So
Would you offer the same? And I'm also happy to change my profit share if the market dips and you can do an overage or whatever. I'm happy to kind of do that kind of scale if required. So if the market dips and I lose, I get less share. Does that make sense? Yeah.
yes, it does.
Does that apply to me too?
You already offered.
Another point I'd like to make is I'd be prepared to share with another angel investor.
That's very good to hear. Thank you.
I would be open to that too.
Thank you very much.
I don't share.
Okay, thank you. I already knew that, John.
I think you have had a cracking offer from Nicholas. I would structure it slightly differently in as much that if I were you, I would form a joint venture company, and how much money would you put into the deal?
The 50,000 I can do.
I'll fund the rest. We buy it. We don't mess about with leases and options and Christ knows what else. It's so bloody confusing. We'll buy it, get the work done,
Yeah.
bang them out,
Cool.
get them sold. If you put the 50 in, joint venture, I would take 60% and you get 40% of the net profit.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
I think I would be at a similar level to Nick. I would be more favouring to offer you that on my own, or to share that structure
Yeah.
with one other. But I don't want, it's probably too many. It's not. It just
Doesn't want
becomes
John.
a little bit of a committee.
Yeah. Understand.
It becomes too many.
Yeah. Understand.
So that's where I would be at. It's that 10%, 65 split, and all that sort of stuff. But buy the thing outright, get main finance on the main thing,
Yeah.
and we'd provide the rest.
I'd do that with Ranjan.
Perfect.
Nicholas on his own, for some reason they don't like you, which is interesting, Nicholas. I like you, I can't understand it. We've got Helen who's decided to sit out this one. You got me, which is very straightforward, as I always am. You put in 50 grand, I fund the rest, and we go 60-40 on the profit. These two both live in London. One's very local, both very experienced. Ranjan more experienced than Paul in terms of development, but together make a great team. and the finance certainly won't be a problem. So you've got 3 choices.
If you want to have a little think
Another
in the
option,
corner of
I'd
the
be
room.
willing to go to 60 on my own.
Okay.
That's a bit bitchy,
Just
isn't it?
stuck a knife in your back, Ranjan.
Well, I'd be willing to go to 60 on my
Well,
own.
I'd be willing, and I'd be willing to do it with Ranjan at 60 as well. I don't mind. But I think 60 is fair. I think you need to make some money out of this.
Yeah, that's why I put it down in my proposal. Yeah.
You know what? He's got a nice smile. I'll agree with that. 60, and I'll do it with Paul.
Okay, is 60 the best?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think we'd be shooting ourselves in the foot if we came in and offered you better than you've asked for.
Okay. You never know.
But it's worth the ask.
I want
We
to
appreciate
ask.
that.
Yeah, okay.
It's worth the ask.
So obviously you guys are higher, so it's difficult for me to choose you guys, to be honest. You two and you are similar level.
I hope
So-
you choose not just on the basis of price, but
No,
on the...
no, I
Let me
don't.
tell you why I initially
Yeah.
said I'd go with Ranjan rather than Nick, and that's mostly
Yeah, I'd
because
love to hear
I'm based
this.
in London and so is Ranjan.
Yeah,
And,
I'd love
I want to do something in London. I know Ranjan has experience in London, so I think it's a good team given the location.
I think actually we're a great team because you've got someone who knows about finance and property. You've got someone who knows PD.
God.
You know,
We'll
Love
let them
it all
let them
stuff.
waffle on, Helen, and then we'll talk. We'll let them shoot themselves in the foot first. I think what they've failed to spot is the fact that with Helen and myself as a team, we also have huge expertise in micro studios and studio schemes. We have over 200 units.
we have that as well.
Throughout the Thames Valley.
So
So
a couple of hundred of those.
I
in
see opportunity
M25.
here at building maybe 4 studios. We need to look at the site, work together, but I think there might be some GDV to be had here, and then look at onward selling the entire investment rather than individual units, which might be harder in the current market, giving you another solid exit.
Okay, that's an interesting point.
I'm letting my career speak for itself.
Okay, thank you.
But he might retire halfway through.
Harsh. If only I could.
I was going to sign, then you mentioned this potential avenue, so now I'm thinking about that. Because obviously if you increase the GDV, we will get more money. If you have that expertise, that's an interesting angle.
Keeping in mind, we can explore that too.
Yes.
I don't know, don't you,
Okay.
don't you think we all might do that?
We'll all start with.
but I've had to
the
tell them how to
baseline
do
on the
it, haven't
table
I,
and then
Yogesh? That's the
improve
point.
Ranjan, would you be interested in a YouTube channel on this deal?
on it. Well, of course I would. Yeah, I like a bit of publicity. Of
Okay.
course, it will get publicised.
Never.
But
We
in
didn't know
terms of
that.
look, that's by the that's by the by.
I didn't know he was on YouTube.
Has he got a YouTube channel?
I've never heard of it.
I did my first commercial to Resi conversion in 2005, and that was.
That
and-
wasn't
and-
that long
and-
ago then, was it?
And PD came in 2013, so I've done it the hard way under planning. When PD came on, it just became a lot easier. So all of that side of it is of course
I
we'll
think
do.
it's decision time.
That's what I'll go with you guys.
I can't believe that.
Well done.
Well done.
So, looking by the smile on your face, we've got a deal.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Fantastic, congratulations.
Yes.
So who did you go for in the end?
So I went with Paul and Ranjan. I thought
Okay.
they were the best team with the most experience, and I think they helped me with future stuff,
Yeah.
which is really what I was looking for. And Ranjan's interested in YouTube channels, and so am I. So
Okay.
I'd like to go on some YouTube channels.
Did anybody else try and offer you anything as well, or was it just the two?
No, everyone offered me something, every single person.
Wow.
And I had my pick, and they were fighting over me at one point, and they were all quite silent at the beginning because I think they wanted to know what other people were going to offer so they could bid against them.
That's all for us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Get on John's YouTube channel as well. He
I'm
needs a
glad
few
you. I
followers.
do need a few followers. I'm so far behind Ranjan, it's embarrassing.
And see you guys. And also make sure you catch the show. It'll be on Sky in the autumn. So see you guys in the next video. Make sure you apply.